Hello again, my friends. I am bringing a brief, very brief guide in regards of major arcana in the tarot and general advice. For example, if you are stuck in a situation where you want to know, you want to ask the universe, how can you unlock or get out of um, s- s- the bad situation you're in, and you get your cards, you ask your guides, the universe, the universal energy, what you can do to do that, to make that step, to go forward, to just uncross your path. So we want to start with the Fool. The Fool is the card number 0 or 22nd in the major arcana. And the advice that the Fool gives us is to just do something new, to get out of the routine, to forget about limitations, because maybe we are under a lot of pressure unnecessarily, because we just could be anything, could be past lives, programs running in the unconscious mind. It could be vows, it could be just stepping out of our path. So the Fool is telling us just stop being a slave from a situation, from a person, a relationship, whatever. So, the Fool, go ahead and follow the freedom, follow your path of freedom, break that pattern. Magician is telling us to take more responsibility, because the magician is like, you have the resources, and if you're stuck in a situation, it's because you're not using them. It's like if you're sick, you have the medicine, and you don't want to take it, or you need to, for example, fix something in your relationship, and you have everything in your hands, and you don't want to take responsibility. Okay, that means if you need to take charge, you need to take care of what you have to do. You have to do what you have to do. That's what the magician is telling you. You have to do to solve a situation. High Priestess, to meditate more, because it's about being nervous. It's about being drowning in a cup of water, like in exaggerating problems, because the High Priestess is telling us to meditate, to look inside more than outside, not to blame others. Okay, High Priestess is inside. Meditation, chill out, and look inside of you. Don't look at the surroundings. Look at what you have inside and analyze what is going on and why it's happening. And you can look for an oracle, because High Priestess has to do with oracles. So you can use the tarot cards to explore more. You can talk to a psychic. You can do many things that have to do with the psychic energy. The Empress is telling me that you are doing the things that you have to do when you're nurturing the situation. But if you're stuck in a situation, maybe you need to spend more time in nature, because we all have electromagnetic fields. Our aura needs to be recharged in nature. So maybe that has to do with pollution. Okay? So, Empress, more get in touch with Mother Earth, nature. The Emperor is organization. Maybe you have everything, you know what to do, but you don't have a schedule, you don't have anything set in up like a plan, or you don't want to take that responsibility that is similar to the magician, but in this case, it's more about um, coordination of efforts, and maybe some advice from your family, because the emperor is like, remember what your elders or your ancestors told you in the past when you were a child. um, all those advices that have to do with maturity and responsibility. The Hierophant is telling me to raise your vibration, a spiritual vibration, through prayer, through looking for advice too, just like the High Priestess. But in this case, is to learn more. Maybe in this situation is asking you to be more trained in a special skill to overcome any issue. So it's about learning. It's about moral. I mean, are you doing things ethically and with a good sense of consciousness? Just analyze that. The Lovers, to be more peaceful. When you are in a situation that you are asking the tarot, what can you do to get out of that bad situation, and you get the Lovers, is to think about how's what you do, how is it going to impact others. Okay, being less selfish maybe, or less rough with other people. The Chariot is telling me that the situation is flowing towards a good ending. Okay, so it's like, this is one of the cards that tells me, I don't know other readers, but to me, when my clients are stuck in a situation and the main card is a Chariot, is telling me that the situation is going to be resolved soon, and is a sign for a victory, for success in general. It's about to wait. Sometimes this card is attached to planetary energies that are retrograde, that as soon as the planet gets in direct motion, the situation gets resolved. Just like the Chariot, when they go forward, the situation is resolved. So to know that, you have to know how the retrograde planets act upon your natal chart. That's an astrological analysis. Justice is telling me that it has to do with karma. In this case, there are many options to work with the energy. For example, pendulum work, Reiki. If we're having a bad situation, has to do with healing, energy healing, and understanding past lives, because justice have to do with karma. Temperance is to connect more with angels. I look at this card as to balance the pH of the body also. Even though we don't think about it, but when your blood is slightly acidic, if you heard about the acidic and the alkaline diet, so if your blood is slightly acidic, it's not good for your body, and it impacts your energy too, your energy field. So it attracts, when you're acidic, you attract more problems, you attract more situations that are not healthy. So when you get on track with an alkalizing diet, you can attract more positive vibrations into your life, not only health-wise, but also in many other areas. The strength is about control. Do not use don't get involved in power struggles, is what it's telling me. If you can see, the image of the card is a woman having flowers on her head, easily manipulating the lion. In the other cards, Rider White, we'll see the woman with an infinity sign. So that means that if you're in a power struggle, like a situation at home, for example, or a partner, business, whatever, that has to do with struggling, just with a conversation, without reacting emotionally to what the other person, the feedback of the other person, you can solve the situation. So it's calming down that lion, calming down that maybe anger. The Hermit is to just step out, just similar to the Fool. As we can see, the Hermit is also on his own, with his own light. That means that you are right. Okay, if that situation, if you're looking for some answers about that specific situation and you get the Hermit, that means that you're right in your intuition, you're right in the way that you think, and other people wants to follow you and want to maybe steal energy from you. So be careful with this card in regards of energy vampires, because you have a light in the darkness. So others, instead of looking their own life, their own light, they look at you and they want to just take advantage of you. The Wheel of Fortune is also a card that is telling us that as things are up one day, they can be down one day. So what is the key to get out of that problematic situation? Looking at the Wheel of Fortune, sometimes it's arrogance too. It's, for example, when you're on top of the wheel and you have money, and okay, you don't want to help others that helped you in the past, or you don't want to talk to friends that used to help you in the past because you're in a better position now, and then you forget when you were under the wheel. So analyze and don't forget that life is like the Wheel of Fortune. The Hangman is telling us that this is a necessary sacrifice that you have to go through. And usually it's about healing. It's about healing the other persons that are involved in the situation. If it's a relationship, that means that helping the other person, or going through what you're going through, it's going to give you benefits in the future, or you're burning karma with it. I also recommend energy therapies, Reiki, pendulum work, crystal therapy when you get this card, because and chiropractors also help with this, because it's you need support when you're going through a situation and you get this card. Death means that situation you need to end. Is also a card that is telling us to clear your environment. Even though it's more painful than the Fool, it's about freedom. If it's about getting rid of something that is obsolete and expired, and we keep living with it. So that is a good sign when we have a problem and we need to get rid of it. Even health-wise, if you have a problem health-wise, death is a blessing, because it's telling you that you have the power to end that situation. The Devil is a little bit more complicated, because it's one of the cards that talk about manipulation, about addictions, about lack of orientation. Like when you don't know where to go, who to talk, and everything looks like nobody wants to help you, that no therapy is working. So in this particular case, I always work with the power of the violet flame, because the violet flame, it's going to get all the darkness, is going to turn it into a positive energy, and it's going to give you connections with archangels, especially Archangel Michael, which is the blue flame, uh, like clarifying whatever doubts you have. So amethyst, for example, is a good stone to wear when you get this, and once you put it on your body, you get a great effect in your aura to open those energy channels and look for perceive more solutions when you think that the situation is kind of helpless. With the tower, I like the tower personally, because the tower is like the total breakdown of lies and things that are also similar to death, the death card, but this one is more radical. Maybe it will involve arguments with other people, uh, some other bitter moments, and usually fights, because it's very violent, but it's necessary. It's for example, when people, I look at this card like when people hoards a lot of things, like hoarders, and in these programs, when they come and they sell everything to help them out, and they get in return all that money, and they just have a strong feelings and resistance against that change, and they start, oh no, I want to keep this, I want to keep that. In this case, the tower is telling us that we do have to get rid of almost everything that we currently have, or transform it into another thing, like reinvesting or moving to another house, or something really radical, because otherwise the energy can fall on top of our heads. The star is about following the planetary influences. So every time I'm talking about my readings, I'm talking about the way that I conduct my readings. Every time I get the star, the first thing that I do is ask for the date of birth of the person, and I will take a look at the natal chart, the transits, the progressions, and other influences that the person have, and depending on that, we will know what's the nature of the problem. With the moon, I'm a little bit more superstitious, because the moon is negative energy, similar to the devil, but at the same time, it's more of a lonely energy. I will say the devil will involve more excitement sometimes, because it has to do with money, with sex, relationships that, even though they're kind of chaotic, but the sexual energy is alive. The moon is depression. The moon is more is sad, is health wise, is like things with no solution, is really stagnant energy. So for this, I will use the power of the solar energy. I will say, my advice, when you have this card and you have a problem, it's to just get some sunshine, get some maybe just put some clear quartz on you or some citrine, natural citrine, because your body might be needing some of that solar energy. Okay, and if you don't like the sun, some people don't like the sunlight, you can wear yellow gemstones, and that it will make the same effect like a tiger's eye or something like that. That will solve it. The sun. Well, the sun is the card of looking at things in a less over optimistic way. That will sound weird because sometimes we're like looking for optimism, and that's sunshiny energy. But sometimes I will relate this card with this. For example, somebody that has a friend, and the friend is going through a lot of situations in general, and you come with the energy of the sun and you try to cheer up that person, but that person doesn't need to be laughing now. It's not the right moment for them to laugh and to forget about the problems. It's their time to cry. And sometimes this card is a problem because we all need to go through all the phases. And too much sun is not a good balance either. Too much solar energy. And also remember, the power of the sun is telling us that looking at the forgetting about our shadows, it's not healthy. Okay, a lot of sun energy is like being too much, too optimistic, and sometimes being scared of our internal shadows, and our own mistakes. Maybe overindulgence too. Whatever you do, you think it's fine. I don't have to worry about it. That was nothing when you made a big mistake. So be careful with that. This card is not as 100% good as many people think. Judgment. Judgment is a card that is telling me to connect also with the spiritual world. It's telling me that you have to connect with others, you have to forgive. This is a card of forgiveness. This is a card of when you are far away from people that you don't want to talk to, or you just don't want to face a situation, and you get the judgment. It's like, now it's time to face a situation and forgive yourself and forgive others. And the majestic world is telling us that whatever you're going through is the last step in this cycle of your life to overcome that problem and to increase your vibrational rate. So I will suggest, when you get the world, if you get the world, to get another card to see what's that step that you need to take with the other 21 cards that I mentioned before, to close that cycle, to close that period of your life and see miracles happening.